Hello students. So today we have got English lecture and in your textbook come to page number 38. In your textbook page number 38, poem number 2.5, and the name of the poem is The Silver House. So student, let us try to understand what you mean by this poem The Silver House. And look over here, it's given a beautiful picture of a moon and the clouds and stars are there. So this poem is written by John Lee. I will read the poem, students. Please pay attention. There is a silver house in the lovely sky, as round as a silver crown. It takes 2 weeks to build it up and two to pull it down. There is a man who lives in the silver house in a lonely sort of way, but what his name is no one knows or no one likes to say. Yet, when you go to bed tonight, just draw the window blind and peep out at the silver moon, this lonely man to find. But if his house is taken down and all the sky is bare, then go to bed, because of course the poor man won't be there. Poem is written by John Lee. Now students, I've read the poem for you all. Now we will try to understand the meaning of each and every stanza. Look at the first stanza. There's a silver house in the lovely sky, as round as a silver crown. It takes 2 weeks to build it up and two to pull it down. Now, students, what this stanza means? First, let us try to understand the meaning of crown. Your meaning of crown is an old British silver coin that was used in England in the past. Now, the poet John Lee is comparing the silver house in the sky to a moon. So what the poet is comparing? The poet is comparing a silver house to a moon in the sky. The poem describes a silver house which is as round as a silver coin. So here the in the poem, what the poem describes the silver house which is round as a silver coin. Now students, see, look at this line. It takes 2 weeks to build it up. Now what this line means? It means it is implied in this sentence that the 2 weeks that are used to build the silver house up are the weeks that are required for the moon to complete its journey from the new moon phase to the full moon phase. Now students, you might be seeing a moon in the sky. The moon is not always round in the sky. So sometimes the shape of the moon keeps on changing. It will become smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And once it becomes smaller, it comes again back to its normal original position. And to pull it down. It is implied in the sentence that the period of 2 weeks is a time taken by the moon to change from the full moon phase to the new moon phase. So this, it takes 2 weeks. Here what the poet is trying to tell us, how the moon keeps on changing its size from time to time. Now, second stanza. There is a man who lives in the silver house, in a lonely sort of way. But what his name is no one knows or no one likes to say. Now, what this stanza means, the poet further says that there is a man who lives in the silver house and he looks lonely. So, what the poet is trying to tell us that there is a man who is staying staying in the on the moon and it looks lonely. No one knows his name or likes to say what it is. So here the man who lives on the moon, it is just the imagination of the poet. The man who stays on the moon, nobody knows who's that man is. Now, yet when you go to bed tonight, just draw the window blind and peep out at the silver moon this lonely man to find. Now over here, what you mean by window blind? See window blind. It's a protective covering for a window or window curtain. We can see over here every window we put curtains for the windows. Peep. What do you mean by peep? To see and draw. See here, draw to shut or pull. Now, in this stanza, the poet says that when you go to bed tonight, just open the window curtain and see out of the window and search for this lonely moon. So, this third stanza tells us that when you're going to sleep in the night, just just take the curtains from the window and try to peep out of the window and see if you are able to see the moon and see the lonely man to find. But if his house is taken down and all the sky is bare, then go to bed because, of course, the poor man won't be there. Now, see here, bare here, and all the sky is bare. Bare means what? Nothing is there in the sky. However, the poet says, if his house has been taken down, house has been taken down means you are not able to see the moon in the sky and the sky is moonless night, then the poet tells you to go to sleep. For then, of course, the poor man won't be there. So, here, this last stanza, the poet is trying to tell us that if you're not able to see the moon in the sky, then you go to sleep. Of course, the poor man won't be there. The poor man, this man on the moon is not there. So I will just tell the poem in the very short form now. Students, please pay attention. The poem. The poem, The Silver House, is a poem written by John Lee. John Lee that indirectly describes the phases of the moon. So what the poet is describing, he's describing the phases of the moon, how the moon keeps on changing. The poet describes a silver house which is as round as a silver crown in the sky, which in fact is the moon. The poem gradually explains that the house, which actually is the moon, takes 2 weeks to build up and 2 weeks to pull down, which is the time the moon takes to change the new moon phase to the full moon phase. So, hope so students, you have understood the poem, The Silver House. Thank you students.